Hey guys, what's up? This is Kiefer here with Underdogs Athletics, and we're just going to kind of talk a little bit through engine training. You know, one of our mantras for Underdogs Athletics has always been that engines build championships. And I think it's been something that's always been a foundation of our training, and it's really helped us to get athletes, especially newer athletes, to buy into the idea of building that base through monostructural conditioning, spending a lot of time on machines, getting away from what might be perfect in an affiliate setting of just working on really high intensity, constantly varied movements, doing our traditional CrossFit stuff, right? But when you're trying to train as an athlete, what we have to be able to do is take a step back, work on building that foundation, using the machines. And what we find is that not only does it help to build a better base, but it also helps us to get a lot more training volume in that's less stressful on the athlete's body, so we can do more of it, we can do it year round. And when it comes time to compete, we ramp that intensity up, they're ready to go. So depending on the time of the year that we're in, the athletes' conditioning, their engine training, their monostructural work might look a little bit different. You know, if you kind of think of these things on a spectrum from being very long, slow, steady heart rate stuff to being much more intense, sprinty type of conditioning and everything in between, in a early off season, you might see a lot of work spent on the polar ends of that. So we might spend a lot of time on that really base conditioning side of things. We might spend some time working on that really sprinty effort stuff with very long rest periods, because we're trying to build the athlete's ability to produce that force, build that athlete's ability to sustain for long periods. And then as we get closer and closer to CrossFit in that middle range where it's kind of long intensity, kind of high heart rate, the harder stuff, the stuff we think of as being really challenging, we're able to sort of bring those two things together. So, you know, somebody like Leo, who just started working with us, is just coming off semifinals, it's early off season. We look at that as a period of time where we can rebuild a base for him. And honestly, being that he's new to our camp, it's looking at the things that he's traditionally been really good at and the things he's done a lot of, which is very hard effort work to rest type of stuff, interval workouts, right? And the things that he's not quite as good at, which might be longer chippers, workouts with a lot of machine work in it, workouts where you have to be able to sort of maintain and manage your heart rate throughout it. And those are the things that he struggles on relative to the field. And so we're spending a lot of time on long, slow, steadier stuff, building that endurance base, but also a lot of stuff on repeatable effort or cyclical type of workouts where he might be faced with movements that he would otherwise want to do in an unbroken set, but we're going to force him to break it up, because if we can break it up, we can keep his heart rate down, we can teach him how to move continuously through a workout, and that's going to benefit him in the long run.
As the competition, but if you go against me, you the opposition. But if you want to look like you could close the distance, I'ma give it A forever since you're so persistent. With you, I'm just practicing, cause I'm back to back, let's get back to winning. As a matter of fact, I'm not that forgiving, cause you did this to yourself, that's a bad decision. I don't see no one in front of me, you is a ghost, you ain't got a soul. Whoa, always say that they gon' come for me, knowing they won't, they doing the most. Whoa, chasing my, gotta get already, not selling my, you on the, y'all moving, ready to, whoa.
You know, I think the big benefit of doing purely monostructural work, so working just on a machine instead of mixing it in with other CrossFit movements, is that we're able to create a stimulus where you get a feel for what your heart rate or what your body should feel like during a certain time domain without having to introduce these different movements or introduce a higher degree of muscle fatigue that might interfere with that stimulus. So, for example, we might start off an off season doing a 2K row test, and then we might spend a couple months trying to build to improve that 2K, and we'll do intervals at, plus or minus your 2K pace depending on how much we're doing, right? Well, now if I get into a workout and I have a 15-minute workout that has a relatively significant rowing component to it, I can then relate that rowing pace that I have to what this workout is going to look like. If I have a 15-minute workout, I know I can't row at my 2K pace the whole time because that's my hardest effort for 7 to 8 minutes. But maybe I can do 2K plus 10 to 12 pace. And so being able to use that as a frame of reference is not only helping us get fitter, but it's helping us get smarter in how we approach workouts.